What you guys, this free tool makes Windows 11 better. The tool I'm going to be talking about and showing you how to use today has been heavily requested by quite a few people on my channel in the comments section and in emails. So I thought I'd give you a quick video review and show you some of the best features of this tool. Now first, we're running Windows 11 25H2, as you can see on the screen here. It goes without saying you should always back up your data and make system restore points before you use Winaero Tweaker. So we're going to go ahead and download this free tool and we're going to unpack it. There's no telemetry, spyware or ads in this tool. And as far as I know, it's been around for a very long time and it's a pretty decent tool for optimizing your Windows 11 system. So we're going to extract all the files to the same directory. And there we go. And there's the installer. There is a silent setup batch file there you can click on, but we're just going to go ahead and click on the Winaero Tweaker executable file. And this will open up the program here. Say yes to the user account control. And now we can just go ahead and install this on the system. Now you can either run this in normal mode with an uninstaller if you wish, or you can use the portable mode, which is what I'm going to go for here. So accept their terms and conditions here by accepting their agreement, click next and extract it to the C root directory called Winaero Tweaker. Now, before we continue, I just want to quickly give you a quick disclaimer here. This video is for educational purposes only. It does not break any community guidelines. Do your own research and follow at your own risk. I'm not responsible for any damages, loss or injury that may occur if you follow this tutorial. So let's go ahead and go into the C root directory right here. Just going to quickly eject that ISO file. There we go. And it's a clean install. So there we have Winaero Tweaker right here. Go inside this folder and there is all of the container full of all the portable files that you're going to need to run Winaero Tweaker as a portable application. Now, if you've installed this, it will be installed into its own programs directory, but we're here with a folder. So let's go ahead and click on Winaero Tweaker executable file, and this will open up the program. And again, we can then start to run some tweaks. So you need to accept their agreement right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm just going to quickly click on I agree and we can then continue. So let's click I agree, click yes to run the application. And now the application will open up. This is the application right here. So it's broken down into three parts here. The top part is part of the main menu, this bit here with all the file actions bookmarks. Down on this left hand side, this is going to be all of your tweak lists for all of your tweaks that you can do. And on the middle right hand pane here, this is going to be for your details of what you're doing on the system. So you can see we've got system information right there now because we've highlighted it on the left. And that's basically how it works. And there is literally heaps and heaps of tweaks that you can do to Windows 11. Now, of course, at this stage, you want to create a restore point and back all your data up and all that sort of good stuff before you continue at your own risk. So let's go ahead and take a look at how we can optimize this Windows 11 PC. So we're going to start off in the behavior section first and go to ads and unwanted apps. Now, because this is Windows 11 25H2, as you can see, there is quite a few advertisements. In fact, there's quite a lot. So what you're going to need to do is going to check mark all of these because obviously these are what Microsoft are going to use to bombard you with pop-ups and intrusive ads in the actual operating system. You can turn these off in Windows, so you're not doing anything illegal here. It's perfectly fine. And you can reset this by clicking on the reset button up the top if you want to ever undo the changes that you've made. Again, these changes can be made inside Windows. This tool is just putting it all under one hood and making it easier. You can bookmark this tweak as well. You can bookmark all these. Now you can reboot the system right now, or you can reboot yourself later on, which is what I'm going to do here in this video to save time. Next, we're going to deal with the telemetry side of things in Windows, and you can do that inside Winaero Tweaker as well. So let's drop down to the actual privacy section right here, and you can see disable telemetry. All we need to do is check mark this disable telemetry and data collection, and that is now done. It's now disabled all the telemetry and data collection in Windows. I can reboot later on. So that is the telemetry side done. And what is this telemetry actually doing in Windows? Well, it's gathering diagnostic and user data to improve their operating system. Hence, it's called telemetry. You can use the search feature at the very top. So we're going to just put driver up here, and you can see disable driver updates. That's exactly what I'd advise you to do, because sometimes Windows pushes out driver updates that can actually break the system, and they have done many times in the past. So if you want to, type driver, or you can search for it, and you can turn off driver updates via Windows Updates. So I've just checkmarked that, and I'm going to reboot later on, as you'd expect, because I don't want to keep rebooting after I make one change every single time. So we can do all these changes now and do a reboot at the end. So we can use this search feature to continue to search for items that we want to change, for instance, Windows Updates. If you're one of these people that like to disable Windows Updates or take control of Windows Updates more, then you can use this feature. I personally do it inside Windows itself, but you can see here, disable Windows Updates and notifications. Here you can disable Windows Updates in Windows 10. Just enable this checkbox to stop Windows Updates from installing updates, to stop Windows from rebooting your computer automatically, disable updates, nag boxes and pop-ups, and to avoid any forced upgrades. This is set to manual, and it will stop you from receiving feature updates and being pushed in the queue at the front, so you end up getting used as a guinea pig and ended up having bugs in your updates. You can choose when you want to update, and it's much more easier to do that. That's the way I have mine set to manual on my system rather than automatic, and that way I'm not being forced to update my system when Microsoft want to do it. I'll do it when I'm ready and when there isn't any bugs in that build. So up the top, we're going to do some more tweaks here. So let's go ahead and type UAC. Now, I personally leave this on my own system, but I do know a lot of gamers and a lot of people get fed up with the nag screen of saying accept the user account control, just like we see when we install that program. It's there to protect you. It's not the best in the world, let's face it, as a security measure, but it is a security measure nevertheless. And it's always advisable to leave that little nag box popping up and asking you, do you want to continue? Malware has breached this little silly UAC prompt box before and managed to get onto the system still, but I would still leave it enabled because it does block quite a bit of stuff. Let's go ahead and leave that enabled, but if you do want to disable it, the choice is yours. So let's take care of AI and deal with Copilot. Now, Copilot shouldn't be on a Windows-based system. It should be an internet type thing where you can go to a website and check it that way rather than having it embedded in the OS, in my personal opinion. So if you want to disable Copilot, you can do here. Again, all of these can be done inside the Windows system itself. This is just a tool that lets you do it all from one place. You can create shortcuts as well. These shortcuts will add the classic shutdown button on the desktop. I can remember having my reboot and the shutdown buttons on the desktop. You used to color coordinate them all, and that's basically how you used to do it. And you can still do that with Winaero Tweaker. That's how you can set it up. So there's some other ones on here like System Restore. Again, if you want to customize System Restore and turn it on and do all that sort of stuff, you can do that within here as well. This sort of feature is being phased out by Windows 11, and you can optimize it in here and also turn it on. It's off by default. Next, let's take a look at the context menu. There's quite a few things in the context menu that you can add. This is your right-click context menu, and basically you can add in there all sorts of stuff like, for instance, running PowerShell, running command prompts, and so on. As administrator, you just right-click on it and it'll open up straight from that location. File hash, check the file hash. So you can go through and check mark a lot of stuff like kill not responding tasks here. Another useful little one there. Group policy, if you've got Windows 11 Pro or Windows 10 Pro and above, you can have your group policy editor set there. So I'll go ahead and check mark a bunch of these. If you use your encryption, you can do that here as well. And there's a bunch of other stuff like create a system restore point, control panel, and a bunch of other ones. I'll show you what that looks like once we restart the system. But again, you can take more time and go through here and add these the way you like to your context menu. It does speed things up, and with the Windows 11 context menu being the way it is, this might make things a little bit more easier to navigate around and get things done. Also, there is a ribbon thing on here which we'll take a look at, and also changing the size of the context menu because the context menu is quite big in Windows 11, and Microsoft are trying to work on that right now by making it a bit more contained, but that's another video. Desktop background apps, again, you can disable the background apps if you're worried about apps running in the background. If you've got an older system, this can sort of use up quite a few system resources. I've not really noticed it on a brand new computer, but if you do need to turn it off, you can do. Full classic context menu, you can go back and put the old Windows 10 style small context menu on there, and you can even enable the Windows 10 ribbon, which I do actually like better than the new Windows 11 one. But this is the Windows 11 one here, and when you enable the feature, it's going to put a Windows 10 version of that right here by putting the check mark in here. If it's something you're happy with leaving the Windows 11 one on, then don't actually change it. But it will change it back to this look, which some people prefer. So if you're on Windows 11 and you want to use that ribbon, by all means, enable that feature. Okay, so let's carry on. We've got the classic taskbar here. Again, if you want the classic taskbar, you can enable that feature here and just turn that on. But you can see, read the information there. There's the little information there. You need to read that information under there. That's important. This is all for your appearance of the operating system. Dark scheme colors, if you like the dark scheme color. And if you like color accents, where you want to put color accents on everything, you can do. Theme behavior, you've got your startup sound and all your other stuff like your inactive title bar colors. You can change all that here. I'm not going to go into that in this video, but you can do. That's where you can customize it there. Also, you've got your icons. This is also for your advanced appearance settings. These are to make your icons a bit bigger. If you've got really bad eyesight, then you can make the icons a bit bigger there. Title bars, you can change the size of those as well, make them smaller. Depends on what you want to set yours up. Font size, you can make font size bigger and so on. I'll leave the customization bits alone in this video and leave that for you to mess around with. But also we've got Microsoft Edge. So this removes all of the telemetry and all the bloat inside Microsoft Edge. If you don't want all that stuff, just check mark them all and that should be good to go. Again, some people do like Edge, some people don't. I'm not a big user of Edge, but some people do actually quite like it and say it's quite lightweight. So use whatever one suits you. So let's move on to the next one here. Inside the Windows apps, disable Cortana. I'm going to quickly do that right here. And again, you've got some other ones here like disable Windows Ink Workspace here. I'm just going to check mark that one right here. There we go. And we've got some others here like the power and battery. This is your power plan options. If you want to change your power plan options, you can do. Hibernation, I'll normally disable this and gain a bit of space back. So you can disable hibernation right here if you want to. If you use hibernation, then don't turn it off. It's that simple. It's common sense. People always think I'm telling people to do this when I'm not. It's actually your choice. It's your computer. Make the changes you want to make on your PC. Disable power throttling. If you've got a laptop and you've got different needs to what I have, then obviously leave that alone. Get your classic apps. If you don't like the Windows 11 apps because of all the telemetry fears and privacy fears that people have about using the Windows 11 apps, by all means, you can use the classic apps which don't have all the Copilot embedded in them. I've made videos on that a long time ago. People are only making videos on that now, and I was making videos on that a long time, many months ago. And it's funny how some of them videos have got 400,000 views for some people, and yet mine didn't do that well. But hey, that's the way YouTube works. So that is the Get the Classic Apps section right there. You can use that to use the classic apps. Go into your settings panel right here, and you'll see in installed apps. I'm talking about Paint and Notepad, your calculator and things like that. If you don't want to use these apps from Microsoft and you want the old legacy style, then by all means, uninstall these and use the legacy ones. I've made a video showing you how you can do that as well in the past. Remember, guys, I make videos every day, so you should do a search on my channel. There is literally 5,000 videos on there. I've pretty much made videos on everything It's already been done. I've already got it covered on my channel. There's tons of stuff on there for people to watch. So here you can create shortcuts here, and you've got some other preferences you can do right here. And I'll show you how to revert this back as well once we reboot the system. So I'm going to quickly close this off and restart the system. And what we'll do is I'll do an update and restart because it's probably going to want it changes to the system. So I'll quickly do an update and restart, and we'll get you straight back to the desktop. And I'll show you a couple of changes it's done, and then I'll show you how to revert back to a standard default setting as well, just in case those people want to reverse it. So you can see the shutdown icon on the desktop, which we added in there. And I'm just going to quickly show you here. Let me go the right click first on the menu. You can see it's added a bunch of stuff in here, and we've also got the classic context menu right here. And again, we've also got opening up shortcuts to, say, group policy editor from the right click context menu. That's how that works. And I'll quickly show you the ribbon as well, so you can see that and other features that we do have. So let me quickly open that up, and I'll show you how to revert that back. So you can see here we have the ribbon for Windows 10 on this Windows 11 system. So that is the settings. I'm not going to go through all of them because we'll be here all night. But what I'll show you is how to revert back to a default state if you want to do that, unless you've created a restore point and you can roll back using that method. So we're going to go into our C drive here, because that's where we put it as a portable application, a Winaero Tweaker. We're going to open the application up. Now, I didn't turn off UAC, but that's the UAC bit we was talking about earlier on. And this is the application right here. So what you want to do is, once you've got this open, you want to go up to the very top here, and you'll see an area called recent changes right here. Let's see, it's up here somewhere. Let's see, there it is, recent changes. So what you need to do is click on this, and it will give you a list of all the recent changes that were made to that computer. And this means you can now revert and reset these changes back. So all you need to do here is click on the one that you want to revert back. So we'll try this one here, just double click on it, and it takes you back to that pane. And now we can remove the check mark, and it will remove all the text to the default settings. Now, obviously you have to reboot the system, but I'm not going to do that. And we'll do one more. I'll just quickly show you that here so you can see. Telemetry, if you wanted to remove that, why you'd want to remove that, I don't know. But if you did, you could just remove the check mark. And just work your way through the list and reset back. It's not a very quick process, but again, it obviously gives you does give you a list of things that you've changed on that PC, which is useful if you ever want to revert back on that one particular item. There's a great little customization tool and tweaking tool for Windows 11 and Windows 10. And again, if you want to use other tools in conjunction with this, you can do, as long as you're not doing the same thing. Then yeah, by all means, use what other tools in conjunction with that software, and you'll be perfectly fine. I've got a bit of a cold, so you probably can hear it in my voice, but let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. My name has been Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.